Hello everybody, welcome to the Chensor Dynasty. We are back, so I don't need that sign anymore. We are here for the Q&A section. Just talked a little bit about Frosty Faustings earlier, but I'm here basically to talk with you guys in the chat, answer some questions. If you have some questions about Frosty Faustings, or you want to talk about our Grand Blue Fantasy versus experience from last night, or if you want to, ask any question you want, feel free to ask anything in the chat. And I'll be more than happy to answer it. This is always kind of like the AMA section. I always end up talking about a lot of very interesting things. One thing that I would like to say, however, is that coming up directly after this, so I usually stream till about 7 or 7:30, so I'm going to stop at 6:30 today, maybe even 6:15 or 6:20 or so, because I will be a guest on Stouthelm's Teppen podcast, which is Zenny for Your Thoughts, where they talk about Teppen. Obviously, that's a game that I've been playing a lot and doing a lot of, just having a really good time with the game. And I've been tweeting about it a lot. I've been very public about it and everything like that, talking about my woes and successes in the game, communicating with a lot of the top players out there like Stouthelm and such. They jump into my Teppen streams every once in a while to watch. So, they've invited me to be on their podcast. I'm super honored. I'm sure all they want to do is listen to me basically cry about selfish predation, which I will most likely happen, and you could almost bet on it at this point in time. Thank you, Ramen Rider. No problem. I when it comes to like putting together hardware and stuff like that, I should be okay. I just need to make sure that my motherboard and the video card are compatible. That's just the only thing that I really need to do at this point in time. But I'm going to have to find a good chunk of time where I have a good window to try tweaking it. I'm going to have to find a weekend so that while I'm tweaking it, trying to make it work, I don't accidentally kill my PC right before a Tuesday show or something like that. So, but in any case, if you guys have any questions, including Overhaul 180 in the chat had a question that he asked me even before the Chen reaction, even during the break, but I told him to save the question for here because I would really like to answer it here on the Q&A section because I thought it was a fascinating question. I haven't thought too much about the answer yet, because I kind of want to have an honest, genuine reaction and a response for you guys. Okay, all motherboards and GPUs are compatible. It's the power supply. Okay, I've got a good power supply. Although, my computer is super old, so we're going to talk about this for a second. And actually, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be better about something. So I'm going to keep track about stuff that I've talked about. So my computer is super old, and I don't even even after I put it together, I think there's some faultiness to it, right? So one of the things that kept happening with this computer is I just feel like the US whatever's handling the USB is like the USB is not getting enough power. I mean, this thing, the motherboard has like about 2 USB slots for mouse, keyboard. They've got like 6 USB on the back, and then like 4 of them on the front over here. But I have a lot of situations where like my mouse will just die, or something that's plugged into the USB will disappear and just stop working and stuff. It's very weird. Another weird problem I have is sometimes when my computer just goes to sleep after a certain amount of time, I can't wake it up. Like, I'll mash my keyboard, I'll shake my mouse, I'll unplug them, plug them back in, etc., and it just won't wake up anymore. Like, I literally have to hard reboot it. It's very, very odd. I'm not sure why that happens, and I've gone with wireless, versions of keyboard and mice and all sorts of things like that. And for some reason, my computer is just sucks. Now, it's something that I did put together manually, I had a little bit of help picking the part. Actually, Mondo, Temjin Alpha, basically he basically just picked all the parts for me and everything like that, and I put it together. So I don't know what's wrong with my machine. I don't know why it's kind of messed up like this. Hopefully, if I can put together another PC, it wouldn't be as bad. But my computer is definitely super old. So let's talk about this question here. Altimor patch and hyper fighting here. So I was thinking about the Polygon story of Street Fighter II and James Goddard investigating the RE hack, and thinking it was trash, then going back to Super or whatever edition was out, and it felt so awful by comparison how he had to convince Japan to speed up the game. Yes, this is actually a real story. Hyper Fighting was not made by Japan, it was made by Capcom USA. And their hand was kind of forced, because Champion Edition came out, and Champion Edition was really horribly unbalanced. Bison was broken beyond all reason, maybe one of the all-time most broken playable characters in Street Fighter history. Champion Edition basically has the tier, S tier is Bison, Guile is A tier, and then like everybody else just like is not even like, although modern, I think Sagat and Dhalsim are still pretty good, but Bison is clearly the best character in the game. It's super unbalanced. So no one was playing it, so a Korean company made a Rainbow Edition. They call it Rainbow Edition because the logo came out in multiple colors, in rainbow colors essentially. The Street Fighter logo was that way, where you just put a chip on the board and all of a sudden now characters could do special moves in the air. They could change. You could change the character you were playing by hitting the start button. So you were Ryu, you hit start, now you're Ken. You hit start, now you're, you know, Chun-Li. If you threw Sonic Booms, they go Sonic Boom. Light Sonic Booms would go this fast across the screen. You could throw as many as you want. So you go Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom. And then if someone jumps, the booms moved up with them. And so like if you threw a million Sonic Booms and Vega jumped on the fence and was like this, you would have like 90 Sonic Booms coming here and go, ah! And he would land, and because his hitbox would come down in one straight line, he would hit every one of those Sonic Booms on the same frame, and so his health would go from full health to zero health and just go, and then he would basically be dead. Yeah. Bison was broken because Crouching Fierce anti-aired everything, Standing Roundhouse beat everything, Scissor Kick led to a stun combo, which led to his Re-Dizzy combo, and Psycho Crusher went block, 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 and then he would land on the other side, and then Psycho Crusher again, block, 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 and then land in Psycho block, block, and you would just basically get chipped to death. If you were in the corner, he would go block, 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 and then he would just land, and he always felt like he had an advantage on the throw. Now that we understand things a little bit more, it is an actual 50-50, but at the time, Psycho Crusher and the throw was just like almost unstoppable and stuff. Bison basically was super broken in Champion Edition. It's like, oh god, like the nightmares and kind of things like that. But what happened was there was this Rainbow Edition that did all sorts of crazy things, like Zangief could jump lariat, jump lariat, jump lariat, like keep moving forward, and then SPD you from the sky, like he's out of the screen, he's up here, and you're walking around going, what do I do? And then all of a sudden, puh! And you hear boom, and then all of a sudden you'd land and stuff like that. And you know, Rainbow Edition basically kind of went crazy. So what happened was Japan was making Super Street Fighter 2 in in Japan at the time. They had no intention of speeding anything up because that was one of the key features of Rainbow Edition, is that it was also significantly faster. But the thing about it is these Rainbow Editions were basically taking over all the arcades, and Capcom didn't like that. So while they were working on Super Street Fighter 2 for the CPS2 board, for the new hardware, they were basically making a new game for the new hardware. They needed something to combat Rainbow Edition, so they tasked Capcom USA to do that, and James Goddard was in charge at the time. So James Goddard then went and created Hyper Fighting, which ended up, you know, speeding the game up, letting some people do Tatsus in the air, and that's what gave us Up Ball with Blanca, Zangief Kick Lariat, and all sorts of crazy stuff that we all consider pretty standard by now, and turned out to be one of the most balanced Street Fighters as well, and one of my favorite Street Fighters of all time. And so basically, that's why Hyper Fighting was created. And as a reward for Hyper Fighting coming out and being such a great success, James Goddard actually got to make a character for Super Street Fighter 2. Originally, there were supposed to be two Fei Longs. Supposed to be two Fei Longs, Cammy and T-Hawk. They scrapped one of the Fei Longs and let James Goddard make a character. So James Goddard wanted to put Billy Blanks into the fighting game and put in DJ. And that's where DJ came from, basically. I don't know. Nobody knows what the other Fei Long was supposed to be. unless some people do know, I don't happen to know about it or anything like that. So hyper fighting history, but the interesting thing about this is that Overhaul also asked the question mostly in the context of this. Basically, he says, he was listening to my podcast about the netcode and stuff, and if Capcom implements the change and gives Street Fighter V proper rollback, is that comparable to Rainbow Edition? And in a way, I really do think it is. I really do think it's a very, very similar kind of situation. Because if you think about it here, the Rainbow Edition came out and started, hurting Capcom's image and messing up their game. Their hand was forced to do something. So they had to do something. So they created Hyper Fighting, which turned out to be one of the best things. If Altimor's patch is kind of the same thing, that it comes out and creates this kind of wonkiness with the cross-platform play, but then, it's still better here and there, etc., etc. It's kind of forcing Capcom's a response out of them. And so I really do feel like this is a very, very similar kind of situation. Where someone was like, look, we're going to change the way your game plays, and now you've got to either keep up with it or you're kind of in trouble, because a lot of people like the speed. And in fact, since they were making Super in Japan separately from everything, that's why it came out with the slow speed. They had no intention of speeding it up. So when you went from Champion Edition to Hyper Fighting, which sped the game up, and then Hyper Fighting went to Super, and then everything was back to slow speed again, everybody's like, why would you do this? What the hell is happening? It's because they were making Super as a direct sequel off of Champion Edition, not a direct sequel off of Hyper Fighting. And so that's why Super came out and basically kind of killed Street Fighter 2, because it came out really slow, nobody liked it, and some of the changes were very odd, with the new hardware and stuff like that. The new hit sound effects, the CPS1 hit sound effects are still better than any hit sound effects in any other Street Fighter game, etc., etc. So, yeah, it's kind of cool that, they were forced to do that. And so if Capcom kind of ends up doing the same thing right now and is forced to make a new patch to address this, then there you go. Hackers out there helping improve things, dude. And I like that. I'm okay with that. Lionheart Rar asks me thoughts on the battle for the league, Battle for the Grid League, for Power Rangers, basically. I think that's super cool that they're doing a league, because I already see people like Dacid Bro, who are big fans of the game, really excited about this, about the Power Rangers Battle for the Grid League. He's like, oh my god, I was playing this for fun, and now there's a 15,000 pop bonus at Evo that I could try to win a part of. And so, leagues, as much as some people kind of don't like them because they favored sponsored players, and, they kind of create this divide between amateurs and pros and stuff like that, I think in the end, leagues are actually very beneficial and help the scene overall. And if it gets supported and a lot of people sign up for a lot of these events, they might even consider continuing the league after Evo, or maybe doing another league the next year or something like that, keeping the momentum going. I think that's really cool, and I think that's really exciting. So I'm really happy for the fans of Battle for the Grid to be able to have this kind of league. We'll see how it actually goes down. But one of the things that's kind of neat about this whole thing is that Battle for the Grid does use GGPO. So the netcode is very good, so you can practice with friends online and stuff like that in good quality and such. So it should be pretty exciting out there for Battle for the Grid fans. See if anybody else has any questions. I don't see any more crazy questions coming up in chat right now. One of the things I will talk about right now, though, is that I'm really happy for Rick. I'm really happy for Combo Breaker. I know Rick was paranoid about moving to a new venue and starting to charge more money, but nobody cared. Everybody wants to go. They feel like it's super worth it. And so a lot of people are very excited for Combo Breaker. I've always joked that if Hado went to Mars, then we would all follow him. Of course, David would go for Mars, but that's a whole nother story. But you know, I'm really happy for Combo Breaker. It's just one of those events that, you know, what I love to see with stuff like Combo Breaker growing and selling out 93% of the hotel, breaking any records that the hotel has ever had before in its lifetime, in its existence, and Combo Breaker continuing to get big, is that a lot of the events that I feel like deserve to keep growing, that put on good events every year, are always rewarded, right? Another one being Texas Showdown. They're a premier event for Capcom Cup this year, and I think that's excellent. I'm super happy for them because their Texas Showdown is being rewarded for being a well-run event. You know, I like seeing tournaments like that are well-run being rewarded for a good job. And there's very few tournaments out there that do better work than Combo Breaker, just as an overall experience. And now that it's actually going to be closer to the downtown Chicago area, it's actually even makes it a better vacation kind of situation. Before, when it was way out in, you know, the Pheasant Run was in the middle of nowhere. There was nothing going on out over there. Like, there was nothing to walk to. Someone even just took a picture that Combo Breaker is going to be right next to a Mitsuo marketplace, which is like a Japanese marketplace with a bunch of restaurants and like ramen and stuff like that. That place is going to get destroyed. I really hope Rick warns them of what's going to happen that weekend, the same way Jabali warns that Popeye's Chicken across from the Wyndham Resort that CEO is happening and they're going to basically be destroyed. So should be a lot of fun. How do big events like Frosty acquire so many PS4s? Malice XO, great question actually, and the answer to that is Gaming Generations. Gaming Generations is a company out there that have existed for a while. Really smart company. They ran a tournament a long time ago and bought a bunch of hardware, and then they were like, you know what? Why don't we be a console renting service? So every time you go over to like Combo Breaker or CEO or Evo, you always see the big Gaming Generations booth where they sell the Evo merch, the CEO merch, but then a lot of video game plushies and all this other stuff. They have modding services there, etc., etc., etc. That thing, that company, Gaming Generations, they just own a crap ton of consoles of every kind. And what's beautiful about that then is it's their job to also update everything, make sure all the games have the latest patch, etc., etc. And so basically all you do is you say, hey, Gaming Generations, we're running this event, we need to rent this many consoles, can you help us? And they're like, here's our price, and you're like, okay, I'm down. And then one of their guys will get in a truck with all that stuff and drive cross country if necessary to deliver all of the consoles to the venue. They drive to Evo, and they're East Coast based. They're like Midwest / East Coast based, if I'm not mistaken. And they drive all the way over there, dude. It's really crazy. It's really crazy. But Gaming Generations does a great job. It's a great service, and you know, talk about hitting a space that, you know, a market space that nobody thought anybody needed, and they were the first ones to do it, and here we are, we're in this situation, and it's really, I think, super cool. So good job to the Gaming Generations guys. Honestly, I've met a lot of them. I've met a lot of the guys, met the head guy from Gaming Generations. They're all wonderful people as well. They're great people, very amazing contributors to the FGC. And now that I think about it, how have I never given Gaming Generations FGC Member of the Year? That actually seems like a huge mistake. I gotta remember that for 2020. I gotta put them in there because they are seriously the biggest unsung heroes of the fighting game community. Shout outs to Gaming Generations. I also see a question in here from Flashy Flash. I don't know if it's a serious question or not, but he asks, is Akuma OP in Teppen? I mean, to be honest with you, he's good. Obviously very strong, but right now everybody's mostly worried about Chun-Li decks, and I think Chun-Li is basically the most powerful hero / deck in Teppen right now, because it's not just that the Yan Li concept gives you more access to Ascension because you get more MP, and green gets a lot of MP boosting units, but green also got a lot of very busted cards this season. Like last season, in the growth season, they got a bunch of awesome stuff. And then this season, they got even more awesome stuff. And so Chun-Li, Yan Li went from being a very strong deck to basically the strongest deck. Whenever I play Teppen online, I run into a ton of Chun-Li's that are playing the Yan's hero art. So while if Yan Li wasn't there, maybe Akuma would be one of the strongest because he can ascend cards that aren't ascended on the board, which is really powerful. And not only that, but it kills the card across from it, which is super broken for a hero art. Oh god, that hero art is annoying. But what's cool about it is it actually feels, even with green Yan Li being the most powerful, it feels pretty balanced right now. It actually feels kind of balanced. I'm not even mad about it. I'm not even mad about it, to be honest with you. So yeah, there you go. When is Chensor karaoke night and Zelda? I haven't had a chance to do Zelda again. I've been kind of busy, and I'm going to be very busy for the rest of this month. So you're probably not going to see any karaoke or Zelda coming up this month. At this point in time, but February for sure it'll be happening. I can't promise when in February the karaoke one will be, but it might be like the weekend of the 8th if there's no events that weekend, just because the following week is a very special week for me. And so I did a karaoke stream, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, where I basically sang the entire Rock Band Beatles game in one day. I sang like the entire game in one day for a special event, and so I'll probably try to do that again this year. I do plan to try to do more Tetris. Dude, you know what the crazy thing is, Instant Riot? I don't even know how to handle this. I've got so many ideas for streams, I don't know what to do. A lot of people have even talked about me doing I talked about this on a previous episode. I also really want to sit down and learn Unity. So I was almost thinking about doing a Unity learning stream. And I think that would actually be really cool. I think a lot of people would really enjoy that and want to learn as well. I think that would actually be really cool, really fun. So that's coming up at some point in time. However, it's tricky. Doing a Unity stream to learn how to program in Unity is going to be kind of a tricky situation. What's up, NorCal Lime? Thanks for following here. One of the interesting, yeah, I know, and I need to get back to Phoenix Wright as well. One of the things that's interesting about, what the hell was I talking about right now? I was talking about streaming, Unity, that's what I was talking about. So the hardest thing about the Unity stream is I need to find good free lessons in Unity. Obviously, if there's a class that you can pay for like video tutorials, or a class that you pay for, or if I buy a book and stuff like that, I probably can't stream that because that's copyright infringement. I'm basically giving away their stuff for free by streaming it. But if anybody has any good free Unity streams that or resources that teach you Unity and can link them to me at some point in time, you could do so in the Chensor Discord, in the Chensor Dynasty Discord, or DM me on Twitter or something like that. Yeah, like game developed Unity. That could work, actually. That could work. And sorry again for the choppiness of this broadcast right now. I don't know why. My PC's kind of chugging right now. I have a very old PC, so at some point in time, I need to get a better PC. And so hopefully, I have a new video card. Hopefully, that'll help pretty well. Oh, they have free lessons on their website. Perfect. Okay. Then I can just probably run based off of those, and we can all do a joint Unity learning stream. I've had some people talk to me that they seem really, really interested in doing something like that. So, Flashy flashes, but he needs a deck full of Ascended cards for Hero Art 1 to work. I don't know which ones are the Hero Arts. I just know that he can ascend cards that aren't ascended by using the Raging Demon, I think it was. So, You got a PC gamer with GTX 1070. Was that for the whole computer, El Fuerte Dynamite? Is that the whole computer? What kind of processor and stuff like that? Or are you just talking about the video card itself? I'm not sure if you're just talking about the video card itself or the whole PC, huh? I'd have to see on how strong it is and how powerful it is and stuff like that, because the PC that I got, that I'm using right now 5 or 6 years ago, obviously is pretty outdated already. So I really need to make sure I get something that doesn't go out of date. You know, obviously the new video card will help. If I can install Windows 10 on this machine, I think that will also help, because Windows 10 definitely will improve the performance from a lot of people that I've seen. So, oh, HA3 is the one that teleports the card and gives it Veil and Invincibility for 10 seconds. Yeah, that would be cool. Unity stream. I don't know, like non-programmers. Non-programmers might do best with. Forgot what it's called that they're using on iPhone games and stuff like that. But that development framework, while there still is a lot of coding, their IDE is designed in a way that they try to help you avoid coding as much as possible. Okay. Any other questions here? Well, remember, Flashy Flash, that Gaia armor actually veils all 3 characters. It veils all 3 characters. What Akuma's does is it moves it to an empty lane, if one's available. If not, it stays in place. And then goes Veil and Invincible for 10 seconds. After 10 seconds runs out, the Veil and the Invincibility disappear. So it's not even permanent Veil like Charge Shot is. Charge Shot is, Gaia Armor. Gaia Armor is permanent Veil until that thing dies, pretty much. Oh, interesting. Nidhogg was made in Game Maker, huh? Interesting. Yeah, hook card and Veil, basically, is what it is, Flash. And but it also gains invincibility as well, which I hadn't seen really in a card like that before. But that's cool that Nidhogg was actually just made in Gamer Maker. I have so many game ideas that if I really sat down and started making games in Unity, I think I could make some pretty freaking amazing games. Even like very simple indie one-man games and stuff like that. So it would be really interesting to see what I could come up with if I actually learn Unity. I still have one master game that I've always wanted to make in my entire life. And I've just never had a chance to. I mean, there's just no opportunity, and it also needs a licensed franchise. I could make it an unlicensed version or a generic version, but it would be very weird. So, what's going on, Rudaddy? Have you ever thought of trying a game jam? Well, obviously, I do not have any skill in programming games at all. Actually, Flashy Flash, it wouldn't even be a fighting game. The game that I really, really want to make isn't a fighting game. The ultimate game that I want to make. Having said that, there are definitely a lot of fighting games I would like to make. But for sure. Oh, shout outs to Brian All for the donation. Wow, thank you for the donation, and you get to watch me flip a table onto a baby over there. Thank you guys very much. I need to change all those things, or at least add variety. Do you guys want to see a larger variety of those animations? So donations will have more than one animation, and subscribing will have more than one animation and stuff like that. Do you want to see multiple animations, or do you like having one consistent animation over there? Because I've got a lot of funny things that I feel like I could actually use, you know, for the different animations and stuff. So, what kind of game do I want to make? I don't really want to talk about it because it's a game that, you know, sort of kind of exists, but not really exists, and I don't want people stealing my ideas. So, what's the best Mega Man soundtrack? It's never gonna get any better. It's never gonna get any better, dude. It's never gonna get any better than Mega Man 2. Mega Man 2 is always gonna be the best soundtrack. There's a reason why it's still so iconic to this day, and why, you know, at the time it was just so memorable. Nobody, like, you have cover bands that started because they just wanted to cover Mega Man 2 music, dude. It's just the best, basically. Mega Man 2 has amazing music. Mega Man X, and see, that's the thing is, I think they're kind of different. They're kind of different soundtracks. I don't even compare them with each other because Mega Man X is clearly kind of like a different feel and stuff like that. I do like Mega Man X's soundtrack, but there is for the time it worked out because it was on the Super Nintendo. We hadn't heard anything like it before, but you know, there is kind of a little bit of a try hard feel to it a little bit, you know, with like, it's just like, it's trying, like, it almost feels like it's trying too hard, you know. And while a lot of the songs are cool, like I love Storm Eagle's song, but sometimes you listen to Storm Eagle and you're like, yeah, that sounds like if you had access to electric guitar sound finally in your game, this is the kind of the soundtrack that you would make, you know. A fighting game dating sim. I don't have to do that, Root Daddy. It already exists. There's a game called, oh god, I'm not gonna say the name of the game unless I make sure I have the name of the game right. Yes, it is The King of Fighters for Girls. That is the name of the game. The King of Fighters for Girls is a dating game where you can date the King of Fighters characters. So that already exists. So if you want to date like Iori and Terry and all that stuff like that, there's a game out there for you. So there you go. I don't know. Maybe there is a way to make it so that you could try to date the girls in there too. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. So, but yeah, that is a game that definitely actually exists out there. Any other questions here? If no questions, then I may even just jump to some Teppen and just play some Teppen and continue using my deck to see how far I can get through Champion, just as a primer to get us ready for the stream that is coming up. Let me check my Discord, make sure Stout Helm here has me already. Dun, 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 dun. There's a female one. The last thing arrow is anything in. Who would I date? Are you asking me in terms of King of Fighters waifus, or are you asking me in terms of King of Fighters husbandos? Is that so? Yeah. Are you which one are you asking me for? So. Pending online, let's see, did I get, yep, Stout Helm, we are friends now. So KOF girls or guys? That's a great question. I don't know the Orva of the King of Fighters characters as much as a lot of people. I've always kind of considered my waifu to be Leona, mostly just because she's got blue hair and I have a thing for people with blue hair. I'm not as much of a fan of Leona's personality. I'm not even sure if I'm a fan of the way she fights. I just like the blue hair. I'm obsessed with blue hair for some strange reason, like Felicia and stuff like that. So, so maybe Leona. Has a cat girl costume. But see, that's the thing, Six Machine. I'm not into cat girls. I'm not a cat girl kind of guy, right? I liked Felicia because she had blue hair, right? It was weird. I didn't figure this out until a while. I wasn't sure why I liked Felicia that much until I started realizing I really like characters with blue hair. Because the interesting thing to me is, like, when I see Felicia in her default costume, I like the character, she's really cool, blah blah blah. But then I see other people do Felicia, like cosplays in the black fur and the pink hair, or the red fur and the purple hair, or the red hair and the other. none of those Felicias work for me. Like, if I don't, like, I have this big Felicia figure, basically, right? I have like this big giant Felicia figure. God, it's so funny. I had an HOA meeting one time, and one of my neighbors is very, very old lady, like maybe in her 70s or 80s or whatever like that. And I had an HOA meeting in my house when I had some of my figures sitting there out in my living room. So she ends up sitting on the couch. She just sits on the couch right next to this gigantic half-naked cat lady sitting there behind her. And I'm sure the whole time she's wondering, like, what the fuck am I sitting next to? What is happening here? Like, I am not actually feeling this at all, you know. It was actually kind of an amusing situation there, but honestly, if that figure was in any other color of Felicia, I would have no interest in it. I literally would have no interest in it. It's just the blue hair that gets me. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I put those figures now downstairs in the spare room instead. They're no longer. I have Akuma and Evil Ryu up here now. Akuma, Evil Ryu, and probably one of the best looking figures for a video game female ever. I mean, seriously, this is like one of the most beautiful, awesome figures of a video game girl that I own. I'm super proud of it. It's Amaterasu. I have this figure of Amaterasu, and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I've always wanted to have an Amaterasu figure, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's heavy. I wish I could just carry it over here, but it's kind of tough. So the disc does not spin. Now, the crazy part was when it first came out, the disc was actually poorly made and didn't really stay on there, and it eventually like broke. And apparently it happened to a lot of people, so they had to send me a new disc, and I had to destroy the old one. Like, they literally said, you have to send us a picture of you destroying the old, you know, disc on the back. It was very, very weird. So the posters are beautiful, dude. I mean, I love this Anacharis poster here. And again, one of the reasons why I love this Anacharis poster is actually my favorite one out of all of them. And one of the reasons why it's in the middle, one of the reasons why it's my favorite poster is because there's a lot of blue in it. There's a lot of blue in it. And actually, yes, well, you can't switch the sword on, but there was a version of the Amaterasu statue that you could make it glow. You could make the disc on her back glow, but I did not get that version because it was too expensive at the time. So I framed them. So actually, this kind of makes me sad is that the frames actually ended up being a little too small for the posters. So the edges of the posters actually had to be folded a little bit to fit in there. So the posters will never be in pristine condition anymore. But I don't mind I don't really mind that. I don't really mind that. So because it makes such a beautiful background that I'm really happy with that. So so yeah, so I actually framed these all myself, and you can tell I had to do a lot of work to try to make sure that they were framed properly and straight and balanced and all this stuff. Man, the amount of time it took me to get these things, and then also to make sure that when I hang them up, they were all even and stuff like this. I put in a lot of work to get this set up. And yeah, a lot of people probably wouldn't be able to see this in me, but I'm actually a very handy kind of person. I like doing that kind of stuff. I always like to have an excuse to buy power tools and to do stuff. I installed a shower, towel bar onto a shower door. I installed a towel bar into my wall. I put all the magnets into my cabinets and everything like that. I've done all sorts of like crazy things to dude. Just this past weekend, a friend of mine had a can opener that just basically didn't work anymore. And we couldn't get it to open a can, yet somehow I MacGyvered it into a way that I could actually still open the can with that broken can opener, dude. So I actually really, really like that. Razalicious, the posters are from FocusAttack.com. They are created by Udon for their Darkstalkers versus Street Fighter series of stuff. Yeah, so you can get them at focusattack.com. And I actually have the best focus attack. God, I did not do my roof. If I did my roof, it would have cost a lot less money, that's for sure. I'll show you the best advertisement for focus attack. Let me see, where is it? Can I find it? I don't even know if it still exists on the interwebs. It was actually super funny. All these videos are from me and David. I want a what the heck is this? Seasons beatings. Cutest couple. I think that's what it was. Let's see if I can find it here. Oh yeah, here it is. Perfect. Alright, I'm gonna turn down the music for a second here. How much did it cost me? The roof? You paid 5 G's for your roof? If I paid 5 G's for my roof, I would be so happy right now. Let me tell you right now, that means I would still have savings right now. If I paid 5K to fix my roof, I would still have savings right now. But I paid a lot more than that. A lot more than that. It was so I have a deck on the roof. It's not a roof, it's a deck. And so you can walk on it, and the original material on there was something called Dexatec, which only lasts for like 7 years because the sun actually destroys it. So it's a piece of shit, and we spent about, my brother and I split it before. We spent about like $7,000 to $8,000 to fix it like 10 years ago. Right? And since then it's been destroyed, and now there's a leak, and every unit had leaks, and so we needed to fix the entire condo complex, but our coffers in the condo complex didn't have enough money, so we had to assess every unit more money than you paid for your roof to repaint and reseal our entire condo complex. Then I got my roof fixed, and it can't be paid by the condo complex because it's a deck. And it's a private area, so I have to pay for it myself. So I had to pay way more than what you paid for your roof to also fix my roof. So I had to pay for the assessment, and I had to pay for my own roof. So I basically burned my entire savings doing that, and that's it. I'm basically this is why I said earlier in the stream today, this is my last year of trying this. If things don't improve this year, I have to get a job. I won't be able to travel anymore. I won't be able to stream. I won't be able to commentate as many events. It's going to be hard to find a job that's going to be so okay with me traveling and taking days off constantly. And again, we're in Santa Monica. This is Santa Monica prices, right? Like, if I lived somewhere else, a lot of this stuff probably would have been cheaper. But being in Santa Monica, being in Southern California, you cannot avoid these kind of prices, basically. Also, another thing is, don't ever get a roof with a deck on top. Don't ever, 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 ever get a roof with a deck. Because they are not designed to take the weather. They are not designed to take the weather at all. But I got these posters again from focusattack.com, and I'm going to show you the cutest ad in the world. This was back in 2011 at Seasons Beatings, I believe it was. And let's see if you guys can actually hear this. But this is actually hilarious. This is actually one of the funniest moments. I mean, we've seen a lot of these things from like Tasty Steve and Sajam, but me and David were definitely the original Tasty Steve and Sajam. So watch this. Let me know if you guys can hear this. I'm going to turn the volume kind of up, so hopefully it's not too loud for you guys. But here you go. He did way better with Honda than he did with...
Again, BrokenTier.com. Check out all of that cool stuff. Aha.
Aha. Focusattack.com.
Oh my god. Jinx. Shut up!
Oh my god.
Shut up! Anyway, enter the coupon code SV Velocity during checkout at Focus Attack.
It's just so funny, dude.
FocusAttack.com.
Oh my god. Jinx. Shut up!
This video on YouTube is called James Chen and Ultra David are so cute together. Oh man, it's too funny. Okay. But yeah, you guys probably would probably prefer for me to just sit here and keep talking to you guys, right? Or would you guys like me to switch over to like playing some Teppen before I jump over to stuff? El Fuerte Dynamite, that was 2011 at Seasons Beatings. At Seasons Beatings, one of the original majors run by Chris Gallion and Fuji. And very, very cool tournament. One of the original East Coast tournament. Probably at the time it was like the premier Marvel 2 tournament. That's where we had a bunch of some of the best matches in the history of MVC2 was at Seasons Beatings. So it was really, really cool. We were there for Street Fighter 4. Yeah, we were there for Street Fighter 4 and also some Super Turbo. I actually played Tokido in Super Turbo at that tournament. Really sad because I didn't win, but let me see. Super Turbo James Chen Tokido. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. So this year David was commentating this. How loud is that commentary? Is this commentary too loud for you guys, or is this okay? Is this okay? Oh yeah, no problem, Rude 80. Obviously, it's very different time zones for everybody, so I don't want to get completely destroyed by the volume and stuff like that. I've had some of my proudest moments here at Seasons Beatings for fighting games, for Super Turbo stuff. So here is a match that I had against Tokido that we can watch this match over here. Let's do this here. Hang on a second. Okay. Sorry, I'm actually just writing down all of my stuff so I can actually
Once it gets going, he's just going to go to it.
Do it easier later on.
But he's not lazy about it.
So this is 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3.
That crouching medium
And sorry, the quality of the video is going to be really bad just because my stream is in really bad shape right now and I don't know why.
Just getting out footsied right now is really what it is. Tokido holding charge the whole time while he was sliding. And that's it, yeah.
Yep, there I go, down I go. And man, this is really choppy. I'm really sorry, you guys, that it is so choppy here. I don't think that this match is actually that terrible for Cammy. There are definitely a lot worse matchups, despite the fact that Claw is one of the best characters in the game. But in the end, Claw is just ridiculous, so Claw is always going to be one of the best characters in the game, no matter what you try. This is 2011. This is 2011 as well.
Tokido with no wall dive so far. I mean, he's a little.
That was my cat sneezing.
Dragon Punch, which has gigantic range, goes up there really far and can deal with the wall dives a little bit better than most characters can. James kind of getting desperate there.
Yep, he would just play basically the strongest character in the. Look, my mouse is in the way.
Medium punches are so fast from Vega. They recover so fast, they come out so fast. It's really just hard to hit with that kind of thing. Very, very solid play there from Tokido.
Again, this is 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 tournament
Keeping
here.
charge the whole time, just in case the opponent jumps. And James knows that. That's why I don't see him jumping.
Funny thing is, I'm actually better at this character even now than I was back then.
James gonna get in now. All right, he's got the life lead, and it looks like he's making Tokido come to him, playing very patiently.
Freaking Tokido.
And James, all right. Oh, I thought that was gonna be it. Next hit might be. Tokido still not getting rushed really. He wants to stay out of Cammy's range for Cannon Drill, but there we go.
Yes, I take a round. Woo!
James taking a big risk to start off, and we're going to see, no, there's, again, no wall dives. So Tokido's just going to keep it grounded. Doesn't want to deal with Cammy Dragon Punch.
Freaking Vega, dude.
And James again taking big risks. A couple times at the end of the round so far, James has been flustered, brought out that kind of crazy stuff, but that's not going to win you a tournament. It's not going to win you, you know, too many games against a very solid player like Tokido. Oh, James just with the crouching jab punish.
Let's go, James.
Oh,
life lead. Let's go,
He does have
James.
the life lead still. Oh, here comes Tokido. And James getting caught in the corner as he has. Great job. That crouching medium kick has been so good for him.
Let's go,
And I was
James.
gonna say it looked like Tokido was feigning wall dive. You could see that he was crouching. He was next to the wall, and that's exactly what he did. He wanted to be close to the wall.
Man,
off the wall
stupid
immediately,
Vega.
and not
Stupid
just,
Vega.
and not just kind of float out there for a while. But yeah, he had basically a Hail Mary.
Oh, thank you, Harold. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate this. This was 2011, dude. So Tokido's up 2-0 against me now. Claw is the best character in the game, like without question. It's him and Dhalsim are the two best characters.
Tokido again has the corner. No, here comes James.
I missed my
I
hooligan.
think that was supposed to be Hooligan right there. But he still has the life lead. I mean, James has looked pretty solid for a lot of this match. Lots of solid play from both players. James not rushing in still. Oh, now he's got to work a little bit. Got to work. He's got to find him one more hit. Maybe two. Maybe two. Oh, and James, I like the use.
Yay, I got around.
The close medium punch there. Maybe to get rid
Yeah,
of
everyone basically quit HDR because they realized Super Turbo was the superior game.
James starting out strong again. He's got his opponent already in the corner here. Going for the Dragon Punch there instead of the grab. Basic mix-up. Potentially dangerous mix-up, but worked out there.
Tried the reversal.
James using that jumping medium punch there from Cammy. So strong. Oh, no, he's taking risks, man. I don't understand. He's had such solid play and done really well with it this whole game. And right then, he gave Tokido an opportunity. You can tell what Tokido wants over there. You can tell what he wants. Yep. Looking for those dives. And
Oh, god damn it! Stupid Vega.
When James did that,
Hate Vega.
Dragon Punch. Put himself out of his own position. That was so strong for him. Oh, nice little whiff there. James with tricks. He's got shenanigans. Safe jump. All right, James working on it perfect right now. Tokido. Oh
God.
In throw range. And Tokido. He's got to do some work before he gets even super. And James with some nice defense right now. There it is. Game.
Yeah, I took a game. I took a game. I took a game from Tokido.
It is. Well, I mean, Tokido plays this game too. It's not like he doesn't play it.
On the side. I mean,
Yeah.
the way
Oh, it's
he
not his main
plays-
game. It's not his main game.
The way he plays, you can tell he doesn't really play. He's just here to troll.
No, I disagree. I think that he's
Really?
playing really smartly.
Interesting.
He's playing mostly grounded because he doesn't want to deal with Cammy Dragon Punch, which is pretty solid.
That's smart.
You know, he's got safe meaties, safe jumps. It's like he's been doing pretty well.
Of course.
Dang it.
Keeping charge.
How
right
did he
there.
charge?
And James is in the corner. Not many options.
This is 2011. This is 2011.
Yeah, he does.
It always
Yeah.
goes back to this.
This is his favorite Cammy.
This is the roots.
Tricks. He's made good use of that hooligan.
Let's
Again.
go.
That's ridiculous. That's Vega.
It's so good. Oh, James taking a risky jump. He's had solid play for a lot of this.
Look at me blocking that heel ball.
That risky stuff, and when he does, the match completely turns around in Tokido's favor.
It's a really all or nothing match.
James, you can tell he really wants to just do one more hit. Crouching medium kick has been really strong for him. I like that Tokido's not pressing buttons right there. He doesn't need to be. Oh, okay. Tokido's like,
I'm still in it. I'm still alive. I'm still alive.
He
Reversals.
has a big chance now. No? Okay.
Oh,
All right.
okay. Woo!
And yeah, that's exactly why you saw Tokido wasn't going to wall dives very much earlier on. Again, James with reversal. Tricks. Is that the game? Chip damage.
Yeah!
Wow, it's
Tied it up.
both
2-2.
Chen.
James Chen.
Commentator no more.
jchensor.
ST player forever.
He's going to be in this bracket the whole day. He's not even going to get a chance to sit down again.
This is all James Chen. This is
So now I'm going to tell you something. I've never actually talked about this online before, and I'm not going to make any excuses or anything like that, but part of me is like, while I was playing against Tokido here, I was like, God, if I send Tokido to, if I eliminate Tokido or send him to losers, that would be kind of shitty for Tokido, right? I don't have a killer instinct. I don't have a good enough killer instinct, to be honest with you. There's no EX moves in this game. I don't have a good killer instinct, especially at this time. Later on, I stopped caring. But my killer instinct is really bad.
once scamming gets started, it's really hard for Vega.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that was autocorrect roll. How'd he get that? I'm mad.
Not a good matchup either, but
No,
I'm mad.
I don't think there are many where you can say Cammy has a good matchup.
no, and there are not many matchups.
I think that's
Vega.
Flo he's commentating with.
You can pretty much teach a monkey to play Vega also, so
Yeah.
that helps too. No offense to Tokido, of course.
Right, of course, of course.
Ugh.
James, he got baited into it, and it's match point for Tokido, so James has a lot of work to do. It's not looking too good for him.
One more hit.
One more hit, even chip damage at this point might be.
Ugh.
And Tokido takes it 3-2. And
However, what I am going to show over here... Yeah, I know, Vi still has that killer instinct, which is really cool. I want to show this match over here as well. Let me see if I can find it here. Where is this? Is it not up here anymore? Is this video gone? Let's see here. I see Namra. I see a bunch of people here, but I don't see this match anymore. I had a match versus Damdai on here, and I can't find it anymore. Man, I'll be sad if this match is gone, actually. Oh, here it is. This was the part 2. This was the part 2 of the video. Is the part 1 exist anywhere? I guess not. I guess part 1 doesn't exist anywhere, but let's take a look at this, shall we? And again, here's a good indication of how we used to watch videos all the time. So this is part 2, basically.
Okay, this is a continuation of Damdai versus James Chen, playing their respective characters. I believe the score is 1-1.
Score is 1-1. This was in 2010. This was the High Rollers ST tournament. This is how we watch Capcom Cup Last Chance qualifying. That's fair. That's fair. Top 2 GGN, Mr. Henry. Ow, no reversal. Oh yeah, Damdai's onto my tricks. He's not gonna get caught by hooligans. Oh man, bad ranges here. Beautiful towards heavy punch by him to fake a fireball and put him into the uppercut range. And then this is where I freaked everybody out. Damdai was like, what the hell? Oh, that was nice. Oh, faked him. No, I missed my super. I'm a scrub. I'm a scrub. I missed my super. This is match point for Damdai already, so I have to win this or I'm dead. Oh, what a read by freaking Damdai. God dang it. Ugh. Lucky you didn't uppercut me. Ah, where's my uppercut? I'm a scrub. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, nice escape. Woo! He knows that trick. Got him! Baited! 2-2, baby! Let's go, James! Let's go, James! It's 2-2!
2-2. It's a big one. Oh, nice lead.
That's such a good escape, dude. Fucking Damdai knows his shit. Standing heavy kick, baby. Ah, I don't even need the super. Can James close it out? Is he going to kill? Oh, I fail again like I did against Tokido. The Ken combos, baby!
James Chen puts Damdai in loser. Incredible.
Oh, man. Low short, super, baby! Low short, super, baby! And the funniest thing about that, too, is that that match, right? That's the last time I've ever beat Damdai in this game. Since 2010, I have never been able to beat Damdai again. I've come very close, but I haven't been able to beat him. Let's see here. And then, no, not this one. Let's see. There was also the Tournament of Champions. Yeah, here we go. The Tournament of Legends. I actually made it into the Tournament of Legends. The first Tournament of Legends for Super Turbo Revival way back in 2012. Damdai is the best American player. Yeah, Damdai is freaking amazing. That did sound like Z, but it's not Z. But this was Losers Bracket, Tournament of Legends, me versus Afro Cole in Super Turbo at the Tournament of Legends. I made the I made the Tournament of Legends tournament, and this was me versus Afro Cole over here.
That's what separates Saiga. I was just talking to Mao with my very terrible Japanese and his respectable English, and trying to communicate.
Well, yeah, that's being polite. He doesn't speak English at all.
And he was saying that Daigo does not practice Super Turbo, yet every time, I was telling him, every time Daigo comes to America, he bodies everybody pretty much free.
Yeah, if they fought, Mao would win. I mean, so in that sense.
Oh, but yeah, but I'm saying Daigo, like we've got all these guys who play Super Turbo, most of them is their main game. Damdai, Afro Legends, etc. They don't mess with anything else at the level they play.
They did. I neutral jumped a bunch of times to get him to think that that's all I was doing, and then I predicted a fireball.
I've been Justin for years, and I always like before the match, like, oh, he doesn't even like this game, he doesn't play this game. But then then I lose.
Agreed.
So James is looking good here. This is see, Cammy, it's like, you know.
I thought he was still playing like button
7-3
check or something because he beat the crap out of him.
So this is wow. This is concrete evidence that Cammy beats Dalsim.
This
we know it's
is crazy.
James is looking good, man. Because
Cole is a very interesting tournament player. I have
This
to say.
fight
for like 14
sucks,
hours.
by the
Last
way.
couple days.
Old Sagat versus
Wow.
Cammy is so
I mean, he's
terrible.
the code. Look at the skin color. Oh no, he's got it.
Oh, you got it.
So this is one of the worst matches in the game. If he throws a roundhouse tiger shot, that's it.
I mean, my
She
goodness,
can't-
what is this? 9.5, 9.75 point.
It might be 10. It might be 10-0 because the roundhouse tiger shot, she can't move forward. He can throw the next one. Well, not. See, what do I know? James is looking good, man. Round, you know, he needs to keep just consecutive.
That's
no, oh god. that's terrible.
Lucky,
Come on,
lucky.
get your act together, dude.
when
Ken Ferry saved
Blade
me.
screen.
the first time Chen came to season beatings, I beat him with Old Sagat in tournament. So if I can do it, I'm pretty sure Cole should have this on lockdown.
I
but
fought-
Chen is holding his own here.
He's got a rhythm going. I fought James actually at Evo East. I bet it's one of the only
that's
times
07, right?
there's ever been a Blanca Cammy match. Like that is a rare match.
Shout outs to NoHoHo,
Super
by the
Super
way,
Turbo.
who's
He
on
played this game
commentary.
for so long,
NoHoHo
man.
was a
That's
great
something I knew
Super
nothing
Turbo
about.
member of the
Nothing.
community. He
Like
passed
long
away
mirrors
at one
and
point in
yeah.
time.
We were in the team tournament. We were trying to deal with Tecmo Super Bowl's Guile, and it's like, Blanca, should we send Fromos Blanca in there? Is that good?
He's got us alive. James was looking good that round. He lands a super. It's about
Oh,
even.
man. I love watching James play.
James
Cammy.
takes the lead.
I mean,
Nice block.
wow.
James is looking good. Oh my
Yeah, let's go,
goodness.
James Chen. Let's go,
He's
James
looking good in
Chen.
both senses. I mean, he's a handsome guy.
This is incredible. This is incredible play by Mr. Chen here. And you cannot, at home, you guys cannot discount the fact of running a tournament, being on commentary,
I should
an
spin my
entire
camera.
weekend, the panels, all the things that James is doing outside of just
Looking good this
playing
round
Super
too.
Turbo. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, his Cammy's looking fantastic. He's got a great rhythm going. Cole in the corner.
All right, I like
Hooligan nothing.
Cole's getting
Beautiful.
back to the
Beautiful. Let's go,
Excellent.
James.
amazing.
God damn. God damn.
Cole
This
looks
is an
very
upset.
Cole looks extremely rattled.
Cole, whether or not he's rusty, this is an upset.
Excellent.
Come on, James.
I'm thinking dizzy here. Can we to see it happen?
Nice. God, beautiful jump-ins. That strong was a little bit too high. He needs to throw consecutive roundhouse shots. There's no reason not to, but whatever. Nice trade. We'll take that from
Hi,
James.
Tiger.
That's okay. Come on, James. There you go. One more hit. Got
Wow!
him. Got him.
Wow.
James Chen.
I applaud that.
Oh man, these old school games, dude. These old school games. Now, for full disclosure, in that kind of situation right there, Jason Cole had just lost to Daigo on winner's side, and then came to play me like right afterwards, and he was kind of salty still, thinking about that Daigo match. So, you know, he might not have been in the right mentality to play that fight exactly, but you know, I'll take it. I'll take it. Oh man, it was a fun situation here. Let's see here. Talking to the Teppen guys, letting them know that I'll be ready to jump over there pretty soon. But yeah, man, I mean, God, I miss those days, man. I miss those days of playing like this, dude. I miss these days of being able to play at a high level like this. And you know, that's just the thing about Super Turbo. You see the way that, like, when you watch Super Turbo and the way that I played, right? One of the things that I will always say about Super Turbo, and I know people try to tell me I'm not correct on this, but Super Turbo does not require any frame data knowledge. You just don't know. It's about feels. Super Turbo is just, should I jump now? Should I not jump now? And blah, 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 blah. And I just miss games like that. I miss games that are played in that fashion. So many of the games today are all about this frame data stuff. Whoops. Yeah, it's too crazy like that. So Third Strike doesn't require much either to be honest with you. And people have told me that they feel like that this is just the future of fighting games, that this is the way it is. And if we played those games back then, we would have all this frame data knowledge and frame data would affect it. I just don't think it is. I don't think the frame data would help at all. Now, to be fair, guys like Anakin don't know frame data for Tekken, and yet he's still amazing at that game. The thing about Super Turbo is after you block stuff, you end up so far away. Everything pushes you far away. Outside of Bison Heavy Scissor Kick, there's like nothing that leaves you right next to the opponent. Everything always leaves you far away. Plus another thing is that frames are one frame. So if you're -1, you're punishable. Like, there's no such thing as turns in this game because if you're -1, you're punishable. It just happens. That's the way it is. So, all right, no problem, Overhaul. Have a good night. Have a good night. Here we go. Oh, it's going to be on Iowa's channel. There we go. Iowa the Boat. It's going to be on Iowa the Boat's channel. So, dude, like, no one's going to whiff punish Cammy's crouching medium kick, dude. It just doesn't happen, dude. It just, and that's the thing is if you block a jump attack, you are in block stun forever. However, the hit stun is short. The hit stun for getting hit by a jump attack is super short. The block stun is super long. It's one of the only situations where block stun and hit stun were different were from jump attacks versus a standing character. If you hit a crouching character, you get all of the frame advantage and all of the hit stun. But if you hit someone standing up, you don't get much hit stun. It's the same. They're all light attack hit stun lengths. And that's why taking the throw works so well. If I jump roundhouse you, you go block, and now you're free. So you go block and then walk up and chase the guy while they're in block stun. But if I hit you, you go boom, and you're done. Right? So if you expect Guile is going to block your jump roundhouse, you're going to walk up and get closer and do damage. So if the Guile instead decides to walk forward, get hit by the jump roundhouse, they'll throw you before you are expecting it. You can stop that by like doing jump roundhouse into uppercut and try to hit him and stuff. But if he threw you during your landing frame, there was basically nothing you could do. Because remember, Super Turbo has no trip guard. So you're just going to get hit by that basically. So if I could go back to the old SC days, would I? Someone asked me one time how I would rebalance Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and after I described what I would do, I realized I was just trying to make the game Super Turbo again. So yes, I would actually. Honestly, like that's why I was so happy to do that tournament, the Fightcade offline tournament in Spain that they flew me out to. I got top 8 in that tournament. I even beat the Spanish Daigo Ryu player in top 8. I ended up beating him in top 8. I beat a Honda player in at that tournament as well. Then I went to the spring festival tournament that was in Texas, and I made it out of my pools. It was me and I think. Who else was in my pools? It's like me and Matsun, I think, made it out of our pools or something like that. So, but I still really enjoy Super Turbo. I still play that game a lot. I still have a great time with it. I still love that game to death. So, okay. And again, you guys don't have to worry about necessarily knowing what the channel is for the stream, because I will just end up rating the stream over there as well for the Teppen podcast. That should be starting pretty soon. So I'll be joining with those guys doing some Teppen stuff, which should be a lot of fun as well. And like I said, I'm just going to go and raid ourselves over there to Iowa's channel. So, I hope so, Oni Ramen. If I don't end up going to Combo Breaker, I'll be very, very sad. But the thing about it is the commentary life that we have now, I just don't know until Tenno contacts us and say, you guys are going to this event. Until then, I really don't know if I'm actually going to the event. So I'm hoping. I don't see why Tenno wouldn't fly me out there. If they fly me out there, then yes, obviously I will be there. If they don't fly me out there, I can't make it to events. I literally just cannot make it to these events. So I would not end up going to Combo Breaker. So that's just how it goes. So unfortunately, all the events that I go to these days, you know, it has to be that they're flying me out for commentary. Otherwise, I just don't have a time to actually make it. So that's crazy to me, Harold, because I actually think 4 looks so garbage right now. Like, when I look at Akuma, his legs are so short, and I actually like the new weird Lion-O Akuma more than that Akuma. When Ryu does jump roundhouse, he's not even looking at the guy he's jump kicking. He's looking this way. He's like, ah, like that. And I always thought 4 looked kind of ugly even when it first came out. When Zangief does the SPD and he goes boom, he just kind of goes and floats out there and stuff like that. I am excited to commentate Vampire Savior this weekend. So, dude, Street Fighter 4 I think might be the ugliest Street Fighter that exists. Weirdly enough, I actually think that. So, the supporting package they're offering to give you guys more money for Combo Breaker. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Hi. Street Fighter EX doesn't count because it wasn't made by Capcom. Oh my god. Oh. Street Fighter Cross Tekken, yeah, is ugly, but I don't consider that a mainline Street Fighter game as well. So the initial announcer for Street Fighter 4 is really cool. I don't like the current announcer. I don't like the later announcer from Super later on. But I heard they just couldn't find the dude anymore. Like the guy just disappeared or something like that. So, but yeah, Street Fighter 4 in retrospect, whenever I see it, I actually feel like visually it's like one of the worst things that, I mean, look at Dhalsim and Blanca. I was actually told Dhalsim and Blanca were the first characters that they made for the game just because they had to prove to themselves they could make a Dhalsim and a Blanca before they could continue forward. And you can tell when Dhalsim throws the fireballs and his cheek puffs up, it is so ugly. Blanca is just ugly in every manner of ugliness possible in Street Fighter 4. So, is it the same guy? Alpha 3 and Street Fighter 4 Vanilla? Is it the same actor? Is it actually? Face it straight! The ultimate Street Fighter! Like, really? It's actually the same? That's crazy. So the UI in Street Fighter 5 is very uninspired. I will admit that. But I actually think the models look really good. If you actually, well, okay, with the caveat that Sakura and Falk look like absolute garbage, but a lot of the other characters look really cool. There's the one guy on Twitter who would always do all the camera mods that you would see them from the different angles. They actually look really, really neat. Actually, they look really neat. But the UI definitely could use a lot more touching up to be more exciting. The UI 100% looks like they made a placeholder UI and never fixed it. So Third Strike is very pretty. One of the most prettiest games. The only thing, in my opinion, that makes Third Strike not prettier than a lot of other games is the fact that they used all that beautiful animation on really stupid characters. So, and I know I'm unique in this, but I really hate Necro. I don't like 12. I don't like Remy. I don't like a lot of the freaks. I'm not a fan of Oro. I don't think Q is cool or anything like that. Like, I only like Q because I root for David when he plays Third Strike. But outside of that, I think all those characters are ugly and dumb and really bad character designs. And so I really dislike them. But I think Dudley is one of the coolest looking characters ever. Makoto is one of the coolest looking characters ever. You know, it's as long as they had a real fight style, they look super awesome. But I really, really do not like the actual characters like Oro and 12 and Necro and Remy and all these weird. Because that's the thing, Street Fighter to me was always about having a fight style. You know what I mean? Having a real fight style. But that's obviously long gone. So, what do I want to see in 6? I talked about this actually in the last stream. Actually, hang on a second. Shoot, what were we just talking about here? We were just talking about, oh yeah, Street Fighter 4 is ugly. That's what we were talking about. Okay. Oh, man. So Ryu and Ken, I mean, when you look at, so the one thing I will say about Third Strike and Vampire Savior was like, that was the height of their animation skill. The amount of talent that they hired for animation in those games, SF3 and VS animation, the quality of animation that they and the professionalism of the artists that they got for those games was unparalleled. When you actually look at the animation frames of the Hadouken and how like producing the Hadouken creates enough of an energy wave that it blasts their gi. Like you'll actually see their gi make these like sharp angles all of a sudden, like an explosion. It's like pow, and then they keep going, and then it settles into place. It's so beautiful. Same thing with like, you know, when Ibuki does her Raida, there's just one frame where she's just entirely a blur. Like, the animation for Street Fighter 3 is beautiful. I think Vampire Savior is actually a more beautiful game than Street Fighter 3, but that's also because they have the ability to let characters do very cartoony things, like stretching, like transforming, like just doing the craziest things, like BB Hood, how all of her attacks are accidents. You know, that kind of thing. You know, that's why I really do think Vampire Savior is actually a still better looking game. KOF 12/13 is an interesting case because they created 3D models. Well, they drew the characters, very rough, sketchy. Then they created 3D models to look as close to those characters as possible. Then they took those 3D models and changed them back into 2D sprites, then refined them, and then ended up creating the game. So the reason why KOF 13's visuals are so distinct is they actually made 3D models and turned them into sprites, which is interesting. But at the same time, it's why you don't see a lot of stretching. You don't see a lot of cartoon stretching that you do in Third Strike and stuff like that. Like in Third Strike, you'll see arms go a little bit long and stuff like that. They'll stretch way longer than humanly possible because they can do that in animation. But KOF 13 doesn't have that. However, the character art design of KOF 13 is some of the best that exists. The characters look very different. Their body archetypes are very, very varied. The direction on things, even though they didn't have the ability to, you know, do crazy 3D animations, the direction, how like when they did stuff, things would go dark, or when, you know, Ralph or Clark, whichever one slams you on his shoulder, zooms in every time, pow, and then every time, pow, and then he throws you down, is just super, super beautiful. So I still think KOF 13 is one of the most beautiful ones. Hang on a second. Will the stream be up already by then? So I can raid. Otherwise, I'll be talking to you guys and my stream at the same time. There we go. Yeah, VSAV is so beautiful. What a great game. What a great game. Garo is another one that looks very beautiful as well. That was SNK's probably experiment to try to keep up with Street Fighter 3 once Street Fighter 3 came out. Garo is definitely a beautiful, beautiful game. But if you guys are just tuning in right now, just to let you guys know, I'm actually going to be jumping onto a Teppen stream very soon. I'm actually going to be being a guest on a Teppen stream with Iowa the Boat, Stout Helm, Chris D, a bunch of, I think that might be the whole crew there, but I'm going to be their guest, their special guest today. As soon as that stream starts up, I'm going to raid you guys over there. It'll take a while while for all that stuff to get ready and everything. But I will be on there, and I'm really excited to do that. Stouthelm, Iowa is one of the most prolific streamers of Teppen. Stouthelm and Iowa are both very strong players. They jump in my Teppen stream a lot and give me advice and all this stuff like that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm sure they're going to ask me about Selfish Predation because Stouthelm is so amused by how much I hate that card. Yes, the podcast is called Zenny for Our Thoughts because that's what you collect. The coins are called Zenny, essentially. That's the Capcom money over there. So, hang on a second. Have you guys started the stream already?
I'm about to.
Okay, so I think people on my stream are going to hear you as well. So
I will be quiet.
Okay,
I promise.
just to let you know, I am live on my stream right now. This is actually, I've never done this before, and this is hilarious. So,
so it's all good.
All right.
Thank you for venturing outside your comfort zone for us.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Whenever the stream starts, like I said, I will raid everybody over there, and so everybody can have some good times listening to some Teppen podcasts. Iowa the boat. There you go.
Yep, we're about to go live right now.
That is Stouthelm you hear, Toshin.
Go live now?
But thanks, guys, for tuning in and watching this. I'm going to raid you guys over to the Teppen podcast where you guys are going to want to watch this. So let's jump on over there. And thanks, guys, for watching here on twitch.tv/jchensor. Now, go over to twitch.tv/Iowa the boat. Let's go. All right.
What he said.
Start my raid, and it's going to be in 6 seconds. Sorry about
this. Our channel is up, but no faces or audio are being broadcasted on ours. So
we are live?
We are live. It's just on a little splash screen with music. That's all it is.
All right. I have raided everybody to your chat, Iowa. There you go.
Yo, thank you, James.
No problem.
How's my audio?
Here we go. Yeah, we're going to be raiding
in
5 seconds as well.
This is audio from like yesterday. I was playing with it.
Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, I remember you messaged me. You were saying you're having some issues, but
why is my camera not working?
If you have OBS still open, James, OBS like supersedes Discord for some reason.
Oh, interesting. Well, I do. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Gotcha. Let me kill my stream program here. You're right.